I wish I never had to make this video, but since I'm left with no option, it is very important for me to talk about this very important topic. Nowadays, there is a lot of fear that is spreading all over India, and most of the women, they are actually very much scared because the crime against women, the rapes that are happening, have actually increased very much. In this video, I'm going to talk about why such crimes happen and why do men indulge in such worst crimes, which is actually really shameful. The worst kind of crime that a person can commit, the worst thing that a man can do. Why do men do such kind of things? Let's talk about this in video. And in this video, I will also tell women that how you can be more safe and what is it you can do if you are stuck in any kind of problem. Make sure you watch this entire video. It is a request from my side that please share this video to all the people, all the women that you love the most, because in this video I'm going to tell you the secrets, some few strategies that you can imply and try to be safe when there is a very serious kind of situation. Why do some men? There are so many men, and there were psychologists who studied the men going to the prison, who were convicted, who were accused for rape. When when the men were taken interview, when they asked those men that why did you indulge in such kind of crime, most of the men didn't regret. Almost all the rapists, when they spoke to thief, when they spoke to murderers and thief actually regretted, actually realized later that the crime they have done is actually wrong. But rape is a kind of crime where the victim was always blamed, where the person who committed the crime always said that I did this for this reason, that reason, and they were never feeling ashamed for the activity they did. They always blame the victim. And that is why this video becomes very important. Why do some men rape and still they don't regret it? The first reason for that is cognitive dissonance in moral decision making. What is this cognitive dissonance in moral decision making? So some people, they experience this kind of cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance means where their actions, the actions that they do, conflict with their internal belief. We have some kind of internal beliefs in our mind, right? So the actions that we do don't match up with the beliefs that we have. This kind of behavior, I know what is right and wrong, but the action that I'm going to do will not match with what I know is right and wrong, with my belief. This is known as cognitive dissonance, and they rationalize their behavior. Whatever they have done wrong, they try to rationalize it by distorting the victim, by distorting the perception of the victim. Whatever perception they have about the victim, they distort it. They see them as less human. Most of the rapists, they see the victim as less human. They don't see the victim against whom they have committed the crime as human. This is known as cognitive dissonance. And they don't see them as deserving. In future, in further reasons, you will understand why this happens. What are the reasons why they tend to not give respect to the victim, why they tend to see the victim as lower. But this is one reason. And they do worst activities. They do such kind of activities so that they can make their discomfort less. They feel discomfort looking at the victim, that this victim is less deserving, and to take away that discomfort, they indulge in such kind of heinous act. And this psychological mechanism enables the person who's doing the crime to commit such crime on the person, so they don't feel the weight of the guilt. That is the reason why most of these criminals, they don't feel guilty inside. Next reason is hypermasculinity as coping mechanism. Hypermasculinity. So hypermasculinity is another reason. Most of the persons committing the crime, most of the criminals who are indulging in such shameful acts, they do it because of hypermasculinity. They want to prove themselves, they want to show their power. Sometimes Some men feel powerless. In the society, they are not given respect. Some men feel very weak. To show that they are real men, to show that they have masculinity, they indulge in such kind of crime. They don't realize what they are doing, but they want to show themselves. They show their aggression because of being mistreated. Because these men are being ill-treated by the society, they become very aggressive. And then they don't realize they assert dominance on the women. They show a lot of dominance to get their sense of control, because they don't have control over the world. They don't have this control. To regain that control, they try to torture the weaker person. They try to do such kind of crime. It is because of economic, social, and emotional challenges that some men face. That is another reason. Next is cultural trauma and intergenerational violence. With the generation, somebody is facing a lot of violence in the community. There may be a community in which the men are facing some kind of trauma, and that because of generation facing such kind of trauma in family, they are facing some kind of trauma from childhood. That trauma comes out in the form of violence, and these people become very violent. So the behavior of such men comes from the upbringing. This is another reason. Next is sexual coercion as misguided expression of intimacy. They believe that doing such kind of thing, actually torturing somebody, is a form of love. They misunderstand this concept. They don't realize that they are harming the other person. They mistakenly believe that sexual coercion or violence is a way to express love, affection, deep connection, especially if they have distorted view. If their views are distorted about what actually constitutes a romantic relationship. And this belief is because of unhealthy relationship dynamics or in media or their personal experiences. Next is social isolation. Some men are kept isolated from the society. They are not engaging with the women from their childhood. Some men are separated from women. From childhood, they live separately. Boys are always separate, girls are always separate, so they don't have this emotional intelligence, like how to behave with the opposite sex. That is another reason. Because of socially isolating themselves, they form a difficulty in maintaining healthy relationship, and they lack this emotional intelligence, and they misinterpret social clues and fail to understand importance of consent. Because from childhood they don't stay along with women, they don't realize the importance of consent. This is another reason. They become sexually aggressive. They become very aggressive when they meet for the first time the person. Next is pornography induced desensitization. Pornography induced desensitization. Here what happens, because of lot of pornographic content, because of watching such kind of videos and such kind of content, what happens, the men becomes less sensitive. Because in the videos they watch a lot of violence. In the videos they see all these things are common. Then they try to put it in real world. Such things don't apply in real world. And when you look at such kind of instances again and again, when you're watching the videos again and again and again and again, you are becoming less and less and less sensitive. A person who could feel happy just with a touch, now because of watching videos again and again, he doesn't enjoy being touched. He wants something more extreme. He goes into extreme step, that is in torturing women. They find pleasure in that. And all this happens slowly. All this is not instant step. Today you may feel that watching videos online, watching porn online is a natural thing. But you don't realize how you are damaging your brain with time. With time, you are on a verge to becoming a criminal. These are the steps. These are the reasons why all these things happen. And it can be because of influence of some people. It can be because of psychosexual disorders. What are psychosexual disorders? Like paraphilic disorder. Psychosexual disorder like paraphilic disorder, it contributes to sexual violence. Because of this paraphilic disorder, it happens. For example, individuals who have paraphilic disorder experience sexual arousal by causing harm to others. They get aroused by harming other person. This is known as paraphilic disorder, and this leads to such acts of crime. These disorders are relatively rare Paraphilic disorder is relatively generally rare and is often accompanied with other psychological disorders. But this is also another reason. Another is a form of social control and retaliation. Some people want to gain social control or retaliate. For that, they use this method. If some woman has harmed a boy, or if she has taken the respect of this boy, or if she has done something to this man, what he will do? A form of taking revenge or a form of controlling to gain social control. What they do? They indulge in such kind of crime. Or maybe family issues. He hates the father of this girl, so he does a crime with this girl. This is what happens generally. That is why I was telling most people, most of the girls who were scared because of such instances which are happening nowadays commonly, I told most of the people that don't be scared unless you have some political connection or unless you have some enmity with somebody. Unless, even if you have some kind, even if you see something wrong happening in society, girls should avoid standing up alone and fighting. Rather, they should form groups. If you stand alone against some kind of crime happening, the other person will try to show power on you to put you down, and the power is shown like this by doing such kind of crime. These are shameful. The incidents that are happening are really shameful in a country like India. When crimes like this happen, our government has to be strict. Our government needs to take action and it has to be very, very strict laws. But the problem is, I cannot control the government. I am not the big person with lot of power to change the government. What I can do is, I can advise men watching this video and women watching this video what you can do. That is why I will be giving solution now. Last, one more reason was there, that is substance abuse. All of you know some people who drink alcohol, they come home and mistreat their wife, or people who are involved in some kind of drugs. All those things do such kind of activities. That is 10th reason. So now let me talk about solutions. Reason, first let me make you little less scared. After looking at so many reasons, you might think that it is very common, right? And nowadays we are hearing that every 40 minutes there is one crime happening in India against women, because the population of India is very high. The population of India is so large, that's why every 40 minutes, if you consider that every 40 minutes a crime is happening. Even murders happen. So many murders are happening. I agree the government has to be strict, the police has to be strict, but don't worry, because the population is so large, the numbers appear more larger to you in the mind. I am telling this to you, all the women watching this, because you don't have any political connections, because you don't have any hatred against anyone, there is no need to worry. Don't worry too much. But yes, you need to take some safety precautions. You need to be little careful, because crimes can happen against anyone. As a boy, it is unsafe for me also to go out. Anytime murders, because people want to snatch money or do something, they may murder somebody. They may commit such kind of crimes. But it is not something to be worried about so much. But this is a kind of most shameful act that is happening. It really makes me very angry when I look at such men. But what to do now? Nowadays, awareness is increasing slowly. That is a positive step, because online things are coming online, and because of that government is taking actions. So slowly the situation will improve. So you don't have to worry. Legal protections are improving slowly. The Indian system of taking actions is slowly becoming faster. Before it was more slow. Nowadays, because of digital, everything is becoming little faster. The courts, we have fast track court, which takes action little faster. Next, community and technological safety nets are increasing. You can share your locations online. You can have some kind of community, friends, all that, and you can be safe. You can, social norms are changing. Nowadays, society is slowly changing, and education, with education, crimes will definitely reduce. So you don't have to worry. But what can you do to stay safe? This is the most important part of the video. One is safety apps. Use safety apps. In iPhone also, there is naturally a feature. If you press the lock button multiple times, SOS goes. Emergency call goes to the parent. Live location can be sent. You have so many apps. to send live locations. So you can use technology, you can share live locations, you can try to be safe always, especially when you are in the middle of night or if you are traveling very late night, because that is not safe for anybody. I'm not just trying to tell women that you are weak, you shouldn't go at night. That is not what I mean. Everybody, it's unsafe for all good people to go outside at late in the night, because night is dark and criminals use that for their advantage. Try to be safe during the night. Use personalized travel route and use a traveling route. Try to have some proper routes which all of your parents know what is a route from which you daily travel. Don't take some random routes. Avoid unknown routes and learn some kind of self-defense. All women should learn some basic knowledge of self-defense. In case of emergency, how can you defend yourself and at least run away? You don't have to stand there and fight, do kung fu, karate, or be a good warrior. But if you know self-defense, at least you can hit the person and run away. At least for a second you can make him weak and you can escape from the situation. You can shout. So some amount of self-defense needs to be learned. You should have a proper safe word, and also the most important step is learn verbal de-escalation. Now what is this verbal de-escalation technique? These are going to help you all over the world in lot of problem situations. Not just in case of rape, in many situations when somebody is behaving badly with you, if somebody is trying to commit a crime, if somebody is behaving very bad, trying to harm somebody, verbal de-escalation means you are trying to solve a situation verbally by talking to the person who's trying to do crime. How can you convince him? How can you calm him down? How can you solve the situation? This is the most important part of the video. So don't skip this part of the video. First step is stay calm and composed. When a criminal comes to you, if you know somebody is trying to do a crime to you, first be calm. Take a deep breath. Don't panic. Most of us panic when we are in a difficult situation. I agree it is a very stressful situation. Don't panic. Stay calm. So take deep breath. Speak in a steady voice. Voice shouldn't tremble when you are talking. Be calm. Avoid showing anger. This is very important. When somebody is trying to do crime to me, somebody is trying to rob me, somebody is trying to commit a crime, we get angry and then the person retaliates more. Stay calm. Don't show anger. Even if you know somebody is trying to do something wrong, stay calm and talk calmly. You need to use positive body language. Keep your hands visible. Use positive body language. Show your hands. All this show that you are not a threat to the other person. If I have an open body language, it shows the other person that I am not a threat to him. If I'm hiding my hands, the person will think that I'm going to do something wrong. And then he will get threatened, and then the chance of crime happening to you is more. Next, empathize and listen carefully. Very important. What you need to do is, if somebody is aggressive, if somebody is trying to be aggressive, empathy can disarm that aggressiveness. Empathy can make an aggressive person, show an aggressive person that you are not bad. And listening to the other person, listening and trying to understand the other person's perspective can also help in finding a peaceful resolution. If somebody is trying to be violent with you, if you try to listen to them, if you try to show empathy, then that situation can get into control. How do you do it? How can you acknowledge the other person's feeling? Whatever the person is feeling, acknowledge it. You don't have to agree with it. If the other person is telling you to do something, you don't have to agree. That is not the meaning of empathy. But acknowledge their feeling. And don't agree with negative behavior. Without agreeing with negative behavior, acknowledge it. How you can do it is, you need to use phrases like, I understand you're upset. If other person is rude with me, I will tell to him, I understand you are upset. It sounds like you are actually frustrated. I can feel that you are actually frustrated. You are feeling disrespected because, you should ask question to them. Do you feel disrespected because of this reason? So you are feeling frustrated because, when you talk like that, you should use such statement. You are frustrated because of this. Well, you can continue the statement. Try to show empathy and use positive statement. Use non-threatening language. Don't use any kind of threatening language which can trigger the person, which can trigger the aggression, which can make the person more aggressive. How can you do it? Instead of saying you are wrong, most of the people tell what you're doing is wrong, don't do this. Instead of you talking like that, you can say, I see things differently, can we discuss about it? Use I statement. Rather than saying you are wrong, try to use I. I feel what you're doing is like this. I feel you are getting too aggressive. You are very aggressive. No. I feel aggression is not good. We can talk politely. So, we need to use I need to step back. You can use I feel uncomfortable when you are doing like this. Instead of telling you are making me uncomfortable, if you tell you are making me uncomfortable, the person will get angry. Rather than that, tell I feel uncomfortable when you are coming near me. I feel uncomfortable when conversation is becoming like this. When you talk like that, it makes the other person calm, and there are less chances that he will continue committing the crime. Because most people, as I told you, don't feel that they have done a crime at all. If you talk like that, the other person will come into senses. Because when people are doing a crime, generally they are not in their senses. And set boundaries politely. That is one more thing you need to do. You need to maintain boundaries and you need to set the boundaries politely. I need to step back. I feel uncomfortable. Let's keep our voices down. If somebody is talking to you rudely, talking to you harshly, let's keep our voices down and go out and talk. Let us talk calmly. Redirect the conversation. If somebody is getting increasingly aggressive, gently change the subject and offer a solution. What can we do to resolve this? Can we talk somewhere quieter? This is how you need to resolve the conflict. Give solutions and know when to disengage. If the person is becoming aggressive despite your efforts, if you feel unsafe, calmly exit the situation. In office or any situation when such things happen, calmly exit. I don't think this is going anywhere positive. Let's end the discussion. Let's talk later when both of us are calm. You can use verbal de-escalation in personal relationship, in work and social situations, and in public situations. So let's be clear. Let's be clear. When a crime happens, it's never the victim's fault, but rather the criminal's fault, the person who committed crime. Sadly, our society teaches girls to worry about how they look. From childhood, our society is actually concerned about how a girl is looking. Some people are worried about making a girl look more attractive, making her wear short clothes, trying to highlight their body. And some people are worried about covering a girl's clothes, covering a girl's body. Some people say that girl is a diamond, the body of the girl is diamond, so we want to preserve it, keep it in closed box. Some people say because it's a diamond, I want to show off. See, my diamond is very beautiful. Both are wrong approaches. It's a human, not an object. It's not a diamond. She is a human. She's not a piece of metal. She's not a ring. She's not a jewelry. You don't have to highlight. You don't have to cover either. Why are you focused so much? If you cover it too much, if you say, no, this is, the girl needs to be covered, she has very important, this is my asset, this, that, if you tell, then still the crimes will increase. And if you try to expose it too much, then obviously people are waiting. Rather, what you must do, don't focus on it too much. Normalize everything. Some women, what they think, if they have good body, they want to show it off. They want to wear clothes to show their body. Have you seen boys? Lot of men, they build good body. Do they always wear short clothes, tight clothes? There is a place. Men never focus on their bodies too much. They don't show off too much. If you try to show off, or if you try to cover too much, if you give priority to that too much, if you talk about that, why not talk about talents? Why don't we ever talk about talents and character of a girl? Why is it always the discussion about either covering or exposing her body or what kind of clothes she has to wear? Why do we focus so much on the clothes? Why do both? We are indirectly promoting such kind of mentality that her body is something special. which either needs to be covered or which either needs to be exposed. No, just a normal body. Everybody has bodies. It's the idea that a girl's body should be shown off, all that is wrong. Everyone deserves to have boundaries respected and humanity recognized, not treated as something to be safeguarded based on societal judgment. This isn't about making women responsible for their own safety. This video is not about making women responsible for their own safety. It is about changing the harmful attitudes that objectify women. Just as we protect what we value, we need to teach boys. We need to teach men rather than telling women how to dress up, rather than telling women to focus too much, covering or exposing whatever it is, rather than focusing on her body so much. We need to teach the men and the boys that women are not objects that need to be owned, judged, or used, but rather they are beings. They are human beings that need to be valued, that need to be respected and protected. It's time to stop accepting behaviors and media that downplay sexual violence and treat women as less important. We can learn from Krishna. Krishna is my inspiration. That is how all men need to be. We can learn from Krishna to keep our innocence and purity alive. Krishna, known to play he was very naughty, right? Krishna. He used to steal the gopis' butter. He used to steal their clothes. He used to go and steal the clothes when the gopis were bathing. What comes to your mind from this? You might be feeling that Krishna was such bad, right? No, he is actually the perfect person. You need to have that playfulness inside you. It's okay to play with women. It's okay to make fun of them. It's okay to tease them. It's okay to talk to them. It's okay to play. It's okay to communicate with them. But it is not okay to look at them with lust. Even if she doesn't have clothes on her body, still, if you have the eyes of Krishna, you will look at her like a human being, not like a lion who's waiting for a prey. That is the kind of mindset that needs to be changed. Despite his playful nature, Krishna always treated the gopis with utmost respect. He saw them not as objects of desire, but as pure souls. You need to see them as humans, as pure souls, devoted to the divine. The gopis, in turn, they understood Krishna and his playful acts and expressions of divine love, free from worldly intent. This interaction shows that one can be light-hearted and playful while still honoring the dignity and purity of others. In today's world, where objectification of women is so common, Krishna's example is perfect lesson that the dangers we face stem from a mindset that sees women as objects of desire or targets for revenge. The perspective not only dehumanizes the women but also corrupts the soul of society. It's okay to laugh. Again, I will repeat. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to enjoy. It's okay to give compliments. It's okay to talk to women. But it's okay to be playful. But it's never okay to look at them with lust. See every woman as sister, a mother, or simply as another human being who deserves respect. The world is dangerous today because too many men see women as objects of desire and targets for revenge. If you feel wronged, if any boy is suffering because of a woman, if a woman is disturbing him, or if a woman is facing problem because of a man, approach the court. Don't try to turn to violence. Men shouldn't try to take revenge on women by committing such crimes, or women shouldn't try to fight against women if the man is wrong. You should always approach the law, and that is when the society will follow a proper path. Because it is important that when we treat each other with dignity, when we treat each other with dignity, the world will become a better place and safer place for everyone. Once again, I would like to repeat and end this video with a note. It is never the victim's fault. It is never about the clothes. But you must stop focusing on clothes. Even the women should stop highlighting the clothes so much, giving so much importance to the clothes. And even the men should start looking at women with respect, not based on her clothes, not based on her dressing, based on her as a human. No cloth can cover the body of a woman or show the body of a woman. It is the eyes of the man based on what he is looking at the woman that needs to be changed. If the eyes of a man are bad, he can see through the woman even if she has complete clothes on. So if the eyes of the man are good, he cannot focus on the body of the woman even if the body is completely exposed. Let's change our mindset. Let's be very respectful. Let's normalize giving respect. Let's be playful and let's start seeing everyone with respect. Thank you very much. Do share this video with all the family members because this is a very important video. Thank you.